Yeah. Okay, and we are live. Okay, guys, welcome back to the channel. Quite a few things going down for Manchester United today. A lot of things to get into. So let's start the show off with a bang, and let's get off with the main story of tonight's show. That is Marcus Rashford signs a new contract at Manchester United, a deal that is rumoured to be worth around about £375,000 per week. Absolutely massive, massive wage for Marcus Rashford, and I don't know how I feel about it. I think it's a lot of money, but I guess I can understand why Rashford's asking for that kind of money. I mean, you're talking about a guy who scored 30 league goals last season. Jadon Sancho is paid 350,000 a week. We have De Gea 375,000 a week. So I think it's pretty much natural. Lucky Singh's down in the comments saying sell Martial for 26 million. I would love to sell Anthony Martial for that much. I don't know if we'll get that. But yes, I do think we could send Amad Diallo on loan to Atalanta. I think that's a good idea. Get him some more match experience and knock some money off that Hojlund price. Get ourselves a striker, and I think that makes us better overall. Luke's down there as well. Northampton Town versus Leicester City, Saturday, 15th of July, 3 p.m. kickoff. Thank you very much for that, man. I'll probably will tune in for that match as well. If it's going to be a 3 o'clock kickoff, will be before the live show will be that day. So how you guys doing? Of course, massive day for the channel yesterday. Hitting 1,000 subscribers, absolutely fantastic. Thank you very, very much from the bottom of my heart. Absolutely fantastic support from you guys, and I really appreciate every single one of you guys. So let's get talking about this Rashford contract, because a lot of people are quite annoyed about it. I think it's a lot of money. I think it is probably way too much money to pay anybody. I think realistically we do need this wage cap to come in, because the wages are extortionate. United spend so much on wages every single week. We are spending millions and millions of pounds. If we can cut that, we're looking at more money to invest in the team. That's what we need to do moving forward. I think we need to move away from massive contracts and hopefully move back towards something of normality. But it's very difficult, of course, when Man City are paying Haaland so much money. Players around us will be looking at teams saying, oh, City will pay us 500,000 a week, let's go for that. So we do have to be smart as well, I guess. So we are running a poll in the comments, guys, tonight, and the poll is basically saying, who should Man United sign as striker? Because it's going to be a key position for us this summer. Very important that we go out and buy the right striker for me. Absolutely. We do need a striker. I think it has to complement what we have. So I'm asking you guys, who should we be signing as striker? Should it be Rasmus Hojlund, Gonzalo Ramos, Dusan Vlahovic, or Ollie Watkins, who we have most recently been rumoured to? So let me know your thoughts on the poll, guys. Get your votes in down below, and we'll get moving along with some Manchester United news. So up first, I'm going to bring this up just at the start, because I think we only really have one piece of information on it tonight, and that is new, and that is the Manchester United takeover. So I'm sure you guys are looking forward to this. I mean, I'm looking forward to this takeover being done every bit as much as you guys are as well. So this is coming from The Guardian, and they are saying that it is sensed both publicly and privately that Sheikh Jassim's bid is ahead of Jim Radcliffe's Ineos bid, and that is coming from The Guardian Sport. So I'm hoping to see progress on this deal. I want to see some big news break. Either an exclusivity period is agreed, some sort of indication perhaps that a Qatari bid or a Radcliffe bid will be accepted. That's what I want to see this week. That has to be the big aim for Manchester United. Get that over the line, please. Just get something done on this takeover so that we're not sitting here in a week's time, 2 weeks' time, talking about the exact same things. Will a bid be accepted? Speculating, guessing if someone's bid is going to be accepted. That's not what we want. We want to be moving forward with this takeover process, and I'm hoping that this will be a big week for it overall. So any thoughts, guys? Get them down into the comments and keep voting on the poll. At the moment, Hojlund is winning the vote, 57% of the vote overall, so you guys do seem to be favouring Hojlund early doors. I'm sure a lot will change on the poll, as it always does. So yeah, plenty of transfer news to get into. Plenty of news breaking around transfers. That's where the real movement is at the moment. It's not really with the takeover as much as we want it to be. It's with the transfers. So, of course, Manchester United, we were heavily in for Kim Min-jae. So Fabrizio Romano has done a good interview today. And there's a lot of interesting things that have come out from Fabrizio on it. So he has said, first and foremost, starting with Kim Min-jae, Manchester United were very advanced in the negotiations to buy him. Now he's going to Bayern Munich, and that's because Manchester United never confirmed that they would pay the release clause, which is the minimum amount of money we have to pay in the first place to buy Kim Min-jae. So obviously, if we're not going to pay the release clause, we won't be getting Kim Min-jae. That's pretty much the top and bottom of that situation. You don't pay the money, you do not get the player. Doesn't take an expert to tell you guys that. You guys will know that every bit as much as I do. But I do think there's a lot of interesting things coming out from what Romano has been saying today. So, in regards to a striker, we have been talking Rasmus Hojlund. So, Romano has says Rasmus Hojlund really, really wants to join Manchester United. So, it's good to see players wanting to join. I think that's a positive thing, because when clubs are looking to charge 100 million, 100 plus million for a striker who has scored 10, 15 goals last season, the striker's going to have to make some sort of a push on their side. He also down there, Peter's down there as well. Rashi's new contract is a deflection and distraction to the lack of new signings and removal. And player removal. Same old game. Big up, Stefan. Thank you very much for that there, Peter. Thank you very much for the comment. Really appreciate it, man. Yeah, I mean, I think that we would want to sign Rashford to a new contract regardless. I think that was always the intention. But I do think it's coming at a good time. It's kind of making a bit of news, and it's taking away from things. I think very disappointing, really, that we had all the news breaking about Qatari bids maybe being accepted last week, and exclusivity, and that they were moving ahead. And now it's completely come to a halt once again. It's completely staying at a flat line. We are not progressing seemingly. So maybe this has been timed, because I'm confident that they would have known this a long time in advance, that Manchester United are getting closer to a Rashford contract. I think that would have been known by the club, and it could have been put out at any stage. So it definitely is possible there has been some sort of a PR spin or something like that has took place with this one. So I think that's a good point you're making on that point. So I agree that definitely could be what we're talking about here, and I think it would be disappointing if that's genuinely the case. I would like us to see some sort of movement this week. That has to be the big ambition. Try to move forward with the takeover. Try to move forward and get something done this week. If it's agreeing an exclusivity period, or if it's agreeing some sort of a price, or if it's hinting or saying that they will accept Qatar bid or accept Radcliffe's bid. Some sort of progression, I think, is needed this week. That's absolutely what we need to see. So I do think you might be right with that. A little bit of PR, a little bit of spin going out there. So absolutely, that could be a possibility. So in terms of what Romano has been saying as well, so Hojlund, we do have a couple of updates on this one. So this is coming from Fabrizio once again. So he has basically said Hojlund is pushing for a move for Manchester United. The player's priority is to join Manchester United, and he is waiting for the situation to be resolved. Atalanta want between 60 million euros and 70 million euros. So we're talking around 55 million pounds there for a striker. I don't think that's a bad deal, because I think Hojlund is a player who we look at and we think this guy has a lot of promise. He's a lot of ability right now. He will come in and score goals next season, and he will only get better. He's a very, very young player as well. He's 20, 21. So I think this could be a smart long-term signing. I think if Hojlund does come in, I would ideally like some sort of experienced striker to come alongside him. I would have loved Marcus Thuram. It does look like he is going towards Liverpool. I think Mehdi Taremi from Porto could be an interesting shout, especially considering if we might go for Andre Onana as a goalkeeper. So I think that is a potential there. So we wouldn't be turning up to Porto looking Costa and Taremi. We would just be looking their experienced veteran striker up front. So I think that might be a smart deal overall. It takes a lot of pressure off Hojlund. It lets him settle in, because if you sign for 60, 70 million to Manchester United, you're the only striker brought in. Your competition for the striking position is going to be Anthony Martial. That I do not think is a good deal for a young player, because I think that if it goes wrong, there will be a lot of pressure on Hojlund's back. There'll be a lot of the media going after him, a lot of the press going after him, and I think he does need time to settle in and grow. This is a young player, so I think overall we're talking it's probably smarter to buy two strikers, and I'm sure Erik Ten Hag would like two strikers as well. So any thoughts, guys? Get them down into the comments. Of course, the poll is running. Who should Man United sign as the striker? Should it be Hojlund, Ramos, Vlahovic, or Ollie Watkins? That's what we're asking you guys at the moment. A lot of guys going for Rasmus Hojlund. That's an interesting shout. I think Hojlund's probably the most affordable of those guys. I think in terms of overall ability, I might go for Gonzalo Ramos, but I do definitely think that we could see a lot of positive growth from Rasmus Hojlund. I think that's a guy coming in, long-term signing, might not hit 30 goals next season, but he might score 20. And the season after, when he's 22, he might score 25. And then at 23, he might get 30. And then all of a sudden, you have a 30-goal season striker in his early 20s. And that could be a really good deal for Manchester United. That's what I think we might do in this summer transfer window, is go for someone like a Hojlund, go for someone like a Ramos. I do not think we're going big on a striker, according to a lot of press outlets. Simon Jones, Daily Mail, has come out with this story as well today, saying Manchester United do not have the budget for a top striker and a top goalkeeper, particularly as they're looking to spend £50 million on Mason Mount. So I don't think we're going to be spending massive money on any one player this summer. I think it will be a more low-key summer where we bring in maybe 3 or 4 players at 30 to 40 million. I don't think we're going to go big on 4 players at 50, 60 million. That's my long-term prediction for this transfer window. I do not think we will be going too crazy overall with what our spend is going to be. So I think Hojlund, I think Mount, maybe Onana at like 40 million as well. You're talking probably most of the summer transfer budget gone. Then it all depends on sales, and sales will be important this summer. So in terms of sales, we do have one piece of information breaking today about a potential sale. It's not going to do much for the overall transfer window budget. It is Eric Bailly potentially going to Real Betis, and Manchester United want £2 million for Eric Bailly. Of course, there would be his wages going off the books, but he's only on £80,000 a week. So overall, compared to what other players are getting at the club, probably not that much, all things considered. So I think that's a bad piece of business. I think we definitely need to be selling players at more than £2 million. We've done this for so many seasons in a row. We have failed to sell players for anything close to what they're worth. The only player we have made a profit on in the last 10 years is Daniel James. We bought him for 15, we sold him for like 20, 25. And that's genuinely the levels of our sales. So it is very disappointing. It does concern me when I see Manchester United need to sell players to spend big money this summer, because everyone around us is spending big money. Liverpool, they've bought McAllister. They want to bring in more midfielders as well. Chelsea, those guys are going to spend a lot of money. City will as well. Arsenal are spending 90 million on Declan Rice. So I mean, I think all things considered, what United will need to do is spend big this summer, and I don't think the budget's there for it. Ashid is down in the comment as well, saying, good evening, guys. Thank you very much for joining in with us. Ashid, thank you very much, man, and good evening to you. And good evening to everybody else, wherever you guys are in the world, whatever time of the day it is. Thank you very much for joining in with us on the channel. So, of course, poll running in the comments. You guys are mostly favouring Rasmus Hojlund in that poll. 64% of the overall vote going to Rasmus Hojlund in that poll. Peter is down there as well, saying if we scored around 58 league goals next season, we'd be fortunate to get top 6. Put a deal in place now and get Tony in January. We need more firepower. I don't think that's a bad idea. I think if we're talking buying a striker now and putting a cheaper deal in place for Ivan Toney in January, I think that could be a really good option. Whether or not United would do that, I don't know, because as you guys know, we do not really run in a smart way. We do not really run in an intelligent way with long-term planning, things like that. So I don't know if United would do that. I mean, I would hope so. It could be nice if they would, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm hoping for some good progress. in terms of the transfers this week. I think with the international break ending this weekend, and I think the last matches are being played tonight, I think we will see some movement. So expect to see updates on Mason Mount, expect to see updates on Rasmus Hojlund, on players like that who are on international duty. Lucky is down there as well saying, "Hi Stefan, thank you very much for joining in with us. Hi Lucky, how are you tonight?" And good to see everybody out once again. Support on the channel, absolutely incredible as always, guys. So very much appreciated. Let me just check here and see what else is in the notes to get through as well. So, what have we got? So, goalkeeping situation. This is going to be something interesting. Something we did run a poll on last week, and it was a very split poll. A lot of people wanted to keep De Gea. A lot of people wanted to get rid of De Gea. Lucky Singh's down there saying as well, sell Martial for £26 million. I would love to sell Anthony Martial for that much money. I do not think we'll get that. I think with Martial we have a talented player, no doubt about it. The ability is there. There's questions about the attitude, of course, but the big issue with Anthony Martial always has been and always will be his fitness. And I think clubs will look at him and say, why would we want to pay 15, 20 million for a guy who's going to be injured for half the season? He won't be available before we can even get him. So I don't know what will happen there. Ashid is saying Mount should be the first signing. He's not on international duty. Thank you very much for that, man. I actually thought he was. I thought he was with England, but actually, no, actually, that's Declan Rice. I'm going off a photo that Luke Shaw put up and with Harry Kane, and I thought it was Mount, but it was actually Declan Rice going around Carrington with those guys. So yes, let's see what we have here on the notes for you guys. So in terms of new goalkeeping situation, Fabrizio Romano has come out and said Manchester United are the ones delaying the David De Gea contract. De Gea wants to stay. Luke is down there as well, Sam. Sam Hoskins' contract expires for Northampton Town. I mean, do you know what? Do you know what, man? For look for you, man. I promise I will watch a couple of Northampton matches this season. No worries about that, man. I promise I will put a couple on and I'll let you know it. I think, but I'm not really too much into the EFL stuff. Like I do watch the Premier League. I would watch French League and La Liga as well, I guess. But I wouldn't really go too much into like anything below maybe championship playoffs or stuff. But I will watch Northampton, I promise. I will make that promise to you, man. So Samuel Luckhurst, when speaking about Manchester United getting rid of David De Gea, now there's a lot of talk coming out on this. So this is coming from Romano, coming from Samuel Luckhurst, Manchester Evening News. A lot of talk about Manchester United potentially getting rid of David De Gea. So, of course, Romano says United are the ones holding the deal up. So I think that's going to be interesting. I think that is very, very interesting news. I think Erik Ten Hag, I think people in the club are putting pressure on, saying, let's not give David De Gea £250,000 a week if he's going to be the second choice goalkeeper. And I can't argue with that statement. I think either keep De Gea as number one or let him go. That's my position on it. I cannot justify spending £250,000 a week for a guy to sit on the bench. We have enough guys on that money sitting on the bench already. Let's not get some more as well. So in terms of what Luckhurst is saying, some figures at Manchester United would like to move on from David De Gea. Dressing room sources say the players are unsure if David De Gea will stay. So I think that's interesting. I think obviously the players, they're not really clued in on the overall negotiations of stuff. I think it's very interesting that David De Gea has all but agreed this contract and Manchester United are the ones holding it up, because last week when this news did break, when this story first emerged, it kind of was made to look like it was David De Gea trying to put the brakes on things, like he was unwilling to compromise. That might have been a club brief. That might have been the club making a get out of jail card for themselves. That is a potential thing that could have happened. Ashid is down there saying that die-hard Northampton fan on the scene. Now, Luke's a good guy. Luke's been on the channel a few times, and he's always dropping the comments, so we do appreciate that, of course. And if anybody else doesn't support United, if you do support another team, let me know as well. Like, it's always interesting as well. Lucky's down there saying he will cause issues to David De Gea. I mean, yeah, I think it is interesting that United are the ones holding this deal up. I do think that is something strange. Lucky says we do not need to change those sort of things. I think potentially we do. Obviously if De Gea goes, we need a goalkeeper. That's truth. Like, obviously, we're not going to play Tom Heaton in goals. We're probably selling Dean Henderson. I do think we do need a goalkeeper long term. It's whether we go for that this season. I think there is a lot of arguments behind it, but I also do. I completely understand why guys would say we want a striker as well. The striker, I think, has to be number one. That has to be the first choice target. Have to get that striker and get those goals in to the team. That is absolutely essential. And speaking of strikers, guys, poll running in the comments. Who should Man United sign as a striker in this summer transfer window? The options, of course, are Rasmus Hojlund, Gonzalo Ramos, Dusan Vlahovic, or Ollie Watkins. Let me know down below. Ashid is saying I'm Man United 100%. Absolutely, man. So am I. If you can't tell, running a United channel, all the shirts around me, 100% United fan. Myself, let me see what else we got in terms of David De Gea. So, Manchester United would like to sign a new first choice goalkeeper this summer. Figures at United have decided a starting goalkeeper is essential. That is coming once again from Samuel Luckhurst. So, Manchester Evening News. Those guys are doubling down on their story. They think that Manchester United want that new goalkeeper. That's the intention. Lucky is saying loan Ahmad to get Hojlund. Yeah, I think that's a brilliant idea, because when you have a young player, what they need to improve is they need match day minutes. They need first team football at a regular basis, playing every single week. That's how players get better. That's how they develop physically. It's how they develop mentally. It's how they get better on the pitch, understand their role, link up well with other teammates. So I think Ahmad is a lot better going on loan next season than he would be staying at United and not playing matches. That's what I think. I think it would be nice to have Ahmad, Anthony and Sancho on the right wing, but I do think that's going to hold back Ahmad. So I think I would like him to go on loan, and if it meant we got a striker at a price that we can afford, I think that's nothing but a good thing. I think all things considered, when we're looking at strikers, we're looking at a lot of money, and I think I've noticed that Italian sources and sources talking about the Hojlund fee, it's come down. Last week it was meant to be 100 million. Now all of a sudden it's between 60 to 70. I think if you had Amad Diallo on top of that, you maybe get Hojlund for 60 million euros, so 55 million pounds pretty much. And I think that is a much better price to pay. And I think that is kind of where we would like to pay for a striker. Now, of course, it has come out United have pulled out of deals for Harry Kane, for Victor Osimhen, because they are too expensive. We will not be going for those players in this summer transfer window. So we have to look around. We have to be a little bit smart. So I think the options we have is either go for an experienced striker, which we have done many times before. We've gone for Cavani, we've gone for Ibrahimovic, Ronaldo, we've gone for players like that, or go for a young striker. And I would like us to try go for a young striker in this transfer window. That's what I would like to see Manchester United do. Go out and get somebody to come in, maybe be here for 5, 6, 7 years. And I think Hojlund, I think Ramos could be one of those guys. I do think Vlahovic wouldn't be a bad signing. I think Ollie Watkins would get Manchester United goals in the league next season. But I think all things considered, my first choice is between Ramos and Hojlund, and that's kind of where I'm split down the middle. But I want to know what you guys think, so keep those votes coming on the poll, and I'll keep the news coming for you guys as well. Lucky is down there saying selling Martial to Atalanta is the right way forward right now. Well, when we're talking about selling Anthony Martial or selling players to Italy, something we haven't considered is Andre Onana. So this is a story that is coming from Simon Jones of the Daily, Daily Mail? Yeah, so Daily Mail. So he has basically come out with two stories. Let me just separate these. And he has said that Manchester United would like to sign Andre Onana, likely to cost around £45 million. Now, he has said as well that Inter Milan are interested in some of Man United's fringe players. So that's kind of players who do not play too much, who are not first team regulars. And if Inter Milan want to take some of our players off us in exchange for Andre Onana, that could be a really good deal. I mean, maybe they'll take Anthony Martial, maybe they'll take Harry Maguire going to play in Italy, maybe Donny van de Beek, Fred, somebody like that could go the other way, and that could make United a better team. If we can knock money off by getting rid of players we do not use, I think that's nothing but a smart idea. Especially if we have a limited budget, especially if we're going out with not a lot of actual funds this transfer window, because once again, this is a budget that has been set by the Glazer family, so we will have a limited amount of investment, we will have a limited amount of summer spending. Last season we spent a lot over what we were meant to, so I do think we're going to pay for it this summer, and I think a smaller budget is the unfortunate consequence of that. So I think we need to sell, we need to do well. Luke is down there as well. Mark Richards, first team former for the Cobblers and Cobbler Strikers and promotion. Lucky is saying as well, Harry Maguire would fancy the move. I mean, if you're Harry Maguire, you probably could do worse than going to Inter Milan, because like you're going to be playing Champions League, you'll be playing in Italy. Maybe he does go. I don't know if Maguire's who they're interested in. It might be Victor Lindelof. It might be Donny van de Beek, it might be Fred, it might even be Scott McTominay. I don't know, but if they are interested in some of United's players that we do not use, I think that's nothing but a good thing for us, because we're looking at a team we can sell Eric Bailly, Alex Telles, Brandon Williams. Then we look at Harry Maguire, McTominay, Fred, Martial, Van de Beek, Anthony Elanga. All of a sudden, we're looking at 9-10 players who we could sell and not be any worse off. And I think that does scream of a very bloated squad, but a squad that is not full of very good players. There is a lot of players who are nowhere near Manchester United level still at this club, and it's a real disappointment. It's a real shame that United haven't managed to sell these players before now, and I think we have to do it in this window. There is no excuse from this point on. We must sell players, and we have to be better at it. Seeing Eric Bailly being linked to move to Real Betis for £2 million, I mean, that's not going to do it. That is not going to do it. Lucky Singh is saying 25 million, and McTominay, I mean, they can have it if they want. I mean, I don't know how happy the Inter Milan fans would be replacing Nicolo Barella with Scott McTominay, but I mean, if they want the deal, take him. Take him by all means, absolutely. That's what I think. And yeah, I mean, that's what I think United need to do. I think we need to be smart in this window. We need to do well in this window. So important that we do. Erik Ten Hag was speaking right before the end of the season. He says we do not need to invest just to try win a trophy. We need to invest to stay in the top 4. We have to spend money just to stay there, because Chelsea will have a better season next season. They cannot have a worse season. Liverpool will be better again. Then you've got United, you've got City, you've got Newcastle, you've got Arsenal. I don't think Spurs will be up there. They might surprise us, but there are good teams in this league, and we have to spend to compete. It's not enough just to be ahead for one season and say, that's it. So we cannot spend this year because we already have Champions League. We're good enough for that. We'll be fine. We don't have to spend money. We need to invest that money into this team. That's what we desperately need in this transfer window, and I've been saying it for weeks. Stephanie's down there as well. Surely Alex Telles is going to be signed full-time by Sevilla. I mean, he might be. I think there was talk of him going back to Portugal. He might have a couple of different offers, but it's good to see you, Stephanie. Thank you very much for joining in with us tonight. Really do appreciate it. And I really appreciate everybody so much, because last night we managed to hit 1,000 subscribers. Absolutely amazing. Your guys' support is genuinely incredible, and I really appreciate everything you guys are doing for the channel. So let's have a look at some other stuff to get through on the show tonight. So, where are we in terms of the notes? So Rasmus Hojlund, yes, so this is coming from Christian Falk, very good journalist for Bayern Munich things. I wouldn't listen to him too much for Premier League stuff, but he does have a good relationship with Bayern as a club, and he says that Rasmus Hojlund is on their striker shortlist. They of course need a striker. They got rid of Lewandowski. They basically had Choupo-Moting. They need to go get a striker. Hopefully they do not go for Rasmus Hojlund or Gonzalo Ramos. Let them go for somebody else. That's what I think. Lucky's down there saying Chelsea's young players are greatly unexperienced. Absolutely. I do still think they have some good leaders in there, but I think it's very interesting. And I'm sure you guys have seen all over social media, all over Twitter, all over Facebook and stuff, there is a lot of talk about the dealings between Chelsea and Saudi Arabia at the moment. Basically, if for anybody does not know, the Newcastle United owners are a big investor in Todd Bowley's company, and then they also own Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia. So they've been buying lots of Chelsea players. Kouyaby, they've took Kante, they're going to take Mendy as well. So I think you're going to be looking at some interesting things happening in this window, and it will be interesting to see where football does go in the next couple of seasons. I think definitely things are changing, and I think it's kind of a case of change with the times or fall behind even more for Manchester United. Lucky Singh says, I think it will catch up to them. I think so, yes. I mean, Chelsea do not have a lot of experienced players in their team at the moment. They've got Thiago Silva, I think Azpilicueta is going, I think Koulibaly is going, Mendy is going. Of course, we're looking Kai Havertz probably going, Mount going. So a lot of changes at Chelsea, but I do think they will be better next season. They cannot be worse than what they were. They will spend a lot of money. Yes, Lucky, you're absolutely right. There is something dodgy going on. Absolutely, man. And yeah, I mean, it is the way it's going. Like, if Sheikh Jassim does manage to buy Manchester United, I could see us having a working relationship, let's call it that, with teams like PSG. I could see that happening. That's a real potential. That could be something that happens long term at United. But it's kind of the way football is going at the moment, and we will see what happens. And it definitely will be an interesting time to watch. So let me check the rest of the notes, guys, because there was a couple more things to go through, I believe. So yes, this is coming in from Italian sources. So basically, this is where the Hojlund story came from today. And then Mark Goldbridge had asked Fabrizio Romano on his show about it, and Romano had confirmed it. So Manchester United are pressing on with the signing of Rasmus Hojlund in a deal that could reach 60 million euros. Now, I think it's very interesting. I said it a little while on the show. Last week, all the talk was Rasmus Hojlund going to cost 100 million. That was all the talk. Then all of a sudden, it's 80 million at the weekend. Now all of a sudden, it's down to between 60 and 70 million. I think that they're slowly being worn down. I think if United have made an offer for him, or if he is pushing behind the scenes to go, I think Atalanta realise they'll have to sell him. And I do think that Ahmad going the other way on loan, I think that might knock some money off the price. And I think it's a really good deal for United, because that way we get a striker, and we get Ahmad a season loan in Serie A, playing top flight football, playing for Atalanta, and playing every single week. And then he will come back at the end of the loan an even better player for us. So I don't think United can lose with that deal. I think it's a very smart deal. And that's exactly why I was very doubtful of it happening when I first seen it, because Manchester United, we do not do smart deals. We know this for sure, absolutely. Who else have we got down in the comments? Lucky is saying something dodgy going on at Chelsea. I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's a way for Chelsea to try get around the fair play rules that have to be coming. I mean, they have to be coming at some stage. You guys would imagine, surely the amount of money Chelsea have spent, there is no way Chelsea are earning that much money in revenue and stuff. So I think they're trying to balance the books. I think that's the plan for Todd Bowley, absolutely. Any more thoughts, guys? Keep getting them down into the comments as well. And as well as that, guys, if you do want to join in with the online community, in a place that isn't just YouTube, we have a Discord server, and the link is down in the bio for that. Feel free to check it out as well. We do update it quite regularly, and there's good chats in there as well. So we'd love to see some of you guys on there for sure. In terms of other stuff coming out about Manchester United, let's see what's happening. Satwant is down there as well. Glazer's out. Absolutely, man. Good to see you back on the channel once again. Really good supporters as always. Supporting this channel, man, honestly, it is absolutely incredible. Genuinely blows my mind, and I really appreciate every single one of you guys who tune in all the time for these shows. In terms of football going on tonight, Luke Shaw has just assisted Harry Kane at Old Trafford. Let me see what else have we got as well. We actually have an update as well coming in from James Stucker of The Telegraph, a very reliable journalist. So he has said the prospect of signing a new defender or strengthening other areas is likely to depend on how successful United are at selling. Now, I'm going to say something, and I had this thought earlier, and I'm not 100% sure on it, but we have heard for weeks upon weeks upon weeks that Manchester United do not have a massive budget this summer. This has been repeated so many times that I'm looking at it and thinking, is this the club trying to tell other clubs out there? Are United trying to put this out in the press that they do not have a lot of money, so that when they do go asking for players, they're not charged an absolute fortune? Is that what we're doing here? Are we trying to drive the prices down? Because normally when United turn up for transfers, when we turn up to buy somebody, there's a massive big price tag added on. We call it United tax for a reason. Maybe we're trying to get around that. I don't know. Who else is down there? United till I die. Good to see you, man. All right, bro. I take it this doesn't go through. Honestly, believe Erik Ten Hag should walk away from United. I think that we talking in terms of takeover. I mean, I wouldn't blame the guy. I mean, it he has to be so frustrated. He has to be, because what Erik Ten Hag did last season, I think, was a very, very good job, and he really improved this team. He finished third place with a team that our only striker from January onwards basically was Wout Weghorst. We went to Barcelona home and away. We beat them with Weghorst up front. We brought in Sabitzer in January as well, who was injured. And then other than that, I mean, we went into last season without a striker. We went in without a goalkeeper as well, who really suited the system. We went and started last season without Casemiro, without Anthony. So I think what Ten Hag did was a really good job last season, and I think he needs to be backed because of it. And it's like, if you're at work, right, and you're working really hard, you're doing very successful, everybody's saying you're doing brilliant, and then you ask for a promotion, or you ask for a bonus, or you ask for something from your managers or from the owners or whatever, and they shoot you down and basically say no, you'll be pretty raging, because you'll be like, I worked so hard to get to this position, and now all of a sudden the guys above me are keeping me down. They're not backing me. So I think that's really frustrating. I wouldn't blame Erik Ten Hag for being annoyed at it. Stephanie is saying United against the Glazers, they must go surely. Absolutely. We I think getting the Glazers out is one of the biggest things Manchester United can do. I think when we talk about how to fix the club, how to change what's happening on the pitch, I think it all starts at the top. It starts at the top and it works its way down. If we have ambitious owners who want to invest money, not run the club for profit, want to put money into the club, let the club spend their own money and go out and buy these players who will help us compete, that's how I think we get back to the top. I don't think we get to the top by being Scrooges, by trying to get value for money in the transfer window. I think we get back to the top by being ambitious. If Pep Guardiola asked Man City to go out and buy Victor Osimhen for £150 million, he wouldn't be told that the Glazers need to be that the owners need to take dividends out, and that there's half a billion of debt that needs to be paid, and the stadium's falling down. Man City would tell Pep, okay, if you want him, we got him. So that's what I think we need at this club. We do need that sort of backing. We need that ambition if we want to go on and win big trophies moving forward. Loads of comments are coming in as well. I can see you guys joining in with us as well. United Till I Die says, January fair we did good stuff, but if this window and takeover screws next January window, we cannot compete. Absolutely, I do not think we can compete at that rate of going. I think we're severely limiting ourselves, and I've always said this. I've always thought like United, we've had success with the Glazers as our owners. With Ferguson, we've had some minor successes over the last 10 years, but I think a lot of that was done in spite of the Glazers, not because of them. I think it's great achievements for the managers to have won trophies, finished in the top four, because the ambition just isn't there at this club. I mean, you've Jose Mourinho, right? A guy who, we know Jose does talk, he does run his mouth, he does come out with a load of nonsense sometimes, but he did say that one of his biggest achievements in his career was finishing second at Manchester United. You've Louis van Gaal saying that United is more of a commercial club focused on profits than football. That's what you have from legendary managers of the game. So I do think if Ten Hag wins something with the Glazers, I think it's in spite of them. It's because he has done very well as a manager. The players have played very well on the pitch. It's not because the owners have been ambitious. It's not because we've decided that we want to try win trophies again. Who else is down there? Stephanie is saying Glazers are doing again, not backing the manager when we get Champions League, only when we don't qualify. Yes, and that is for one simple reason. If we do not qualify in the Champions League, it hurts our profits. That's what it's about. And when we qualify for the Champions League, profits are up, and they want to keep them up so they don't spend too much money. They've done this many times. We've seen this. Jose Mourinho finished second in the league with Manchester United. Our summer transfer window was Diogo Dalot, Fred, and Lee Grant. Then Ollie did the same thing. We brought in Van de Beek, we got Cavani on a free, we got Amad Diallo, and we got Pellistri, and that was it. We've done this time and time again. It is very, very frustrating at this point. We want to see progress. We want to see. It's like we know that we're going in the right direction. If give it a push. help us out. Like, that's all we want. We just want to spend our own money at the end of the day. Who else have we got in the comments as well? Lucky is saying Marcus Rashford, Luke Shaw on with Erik Ten Hag. Yeah, I do think they really have improved with Erik Ten Hag. Absolutely. Really have improved definitely this season. United till I die. I never understood the Glazers. You make money competing for silverware, but they only care for top four. Makes no sense. Someone call them shrewd businessmen. I call them idiots. I wouldn't call them idiots. I wouldn't call them businessmen. I would call them leeches, because that's what they are. They have attached themselves onto this club. They have offered nothing in productive, and they have just slowly but surely sucked all the riches, sucked all the goodness out of this club, and now they're going to sell it for billions. I think somebody said on the channel last week the Glazers bought the club with a leveraged buyout, so they took out a mortgage. Then they had United pay the interest on the mortgage, and the money is still there. And then if Qatar buys us, then all of a sudden the mortgage is being paid off. They're going to make 6 times the profit on it, and they're going to make billions off it for basically buying Manchester United for nothing. And that is so frustrating. Like, it is. Look, there's no surprise why this ownership model, this leveraged buyout, is illegal now. No surprise whatsoever. It is completely banned in the Premier League. You cannot buy a club in this manner. Who else have we got down in the comments as well? Ronnie's done their Channel 4 before this England match have said Rashford has agreed terms with Manchester United. Good news. Yes, I do think it is good news. I think we do need to keep Marcus Rashford, because we're talking about a guy last season, 30 goals. Without those goals, I don't know where we would have finished in the league. We definitely would not have got third place. Definitely not. We wouldn't have won a Carabao Cup either. So I do think we needed that. We need those goals. I think the money being offered is a lot of money, but I think Rashford is asking for that money because he's looking around. He is seeing Jadon Sancho on 350,000 a week, David De Gea 375,000 a week, Rafael Varane 250,000 a week, Casemiro 250,000 a week. He's probably thinking that he is every bit as important to the team as those guys. There are players who are worse than him being paid more money. So I do understand why he's asking for such a big wage as well. United Till I Die says, true, they're clever. They made 8 times their investment. Absolutely. They made 8 times their investment and they got the investment back. So it's basically cost them nothing, and they've made billions, and they've took all the dividends out for years, and now they're going to hopefully walk away very soon with billions. And you know what? I cannot wait. I wish them all the best, and do not let the door hit you on your way out. And if they want a lift to the airport, I will drive them there myself and put them on the plane. Make sure they never come back. That's what we'll do. Who else have we got down there? Stephanie saying parasitic control is the Glazer ownership. Absolutely. Lucky Singh is saying Stephanie cannot wait to when they go, I want new staff. Absolutely. I want a new CEO. I want a new director of football. I want us to go and bring in some scouts and try to modernize this football club. Absolutely. And we cannot wait. Absolutely, Lucky. I agree with you 100%. We cannot wait for those guys to be out of the club, to be gone from our lives, and we will not have to see or hear from the Glazer family again. I said the other day, because somebody accused United fans of just blaming the Glazers when things go wrong. And I think there's elements of that, but I think a lot of it does come down to the Glazers at the end of the day. It's like we could have competed last season, got closer to the Premier League if we bought a striker in the summer, but we didn't. This summer, we need to go out and spend some money to try and improve our team again. So that's what we need to do as well. United tell you, honestly, I'm done with American owners. Most of them have failed miserably owning Premier League teams. Absolutely. I think there has been some very poor ownership at Premier League teams. I mean, United, the obvious example, but I mean, there has been others as well. FSG at Liverpool haven't been great owners. Liverpool had American owners before FSG as well. They were not great either. Kroenke at Arsenal is very unpopular. Who else? I think Bournemouth have American owners. Yeah, I mean, outside of Ryan Reynolds, I don't think there's any good American owners in football. Who else is down there as well? I'm So Fresh is saying Rashford just missed a sitter. I'm not actually watching the match, but it could have happened. I did see Luke Shaw did get an assist for a Harry Kane goal, but I mean, I have very, very little interest in the internationals. I mean, I cannot take England playing Malta seriously. I can't take even like the Republic of Ireland. Who are we playing? Gibraltar. Like, these are tiny little islands in the Mediterranean. I mean, I get up for the big matches. I get up for like the tournaments and stuff. But see, when it comes to the friendlies, when it comes to like playing Malta and Gibraltar and San Marino. It's like it does nothing for me. I would rather just normal football be on. He also got I'm so fresh says Rashford just scored now. United Till I Die says imagine Conor McGregor but United lol. That could be a disaster for Manchester United. It might be entertaining for others, but it would be a disaster. Make no mistake about it. Let's see what else we got down here as well. So actually have some news coming out from James Ducker as well. So he is saying Manchester United and Erik Ten Hag would like to sign a new goalkeeper. With United still to rubber stamp a deal for David De Gea. I think it's interesting. We're sitting here and we are holding fire on the De Gea contract. It's not actually us doing it. It isn't David De Gea holding it up. It's actually United, which is very strange because normally United jump at the bit to get stuff done as well. I'm so fresh saying Kane assists for Rashford. I could well believe it. I think Rashford has a similar movement in his game, a similar playing style to what Harry Kane is used to with Heung-min Son at Tottenham, having a left inside forward. He does score a lot of goals. I think you're looking at a nice little link up there. He also done in the comments, Stefan is saying, I never understood what they talk about in salaries per week. Why do they not just say 19.5 million a year instead of 375,000 a week? Nothing against them, but it's hard to sell on. Yeah, I mean, it's very, very hard to sell on. I mean, if we want to sell Anthony Martial is on £250,000 a week. 250 a week for Anthony Martial. That is crazy money, and he doesn't have to leave. So why would he take a pay cut to go somewhere else when he could sit and just take his money? I mean, Phil Jones was the obvious example of that. I mean, Phil Jones had a couple of chances to leave, but he sat and he picked up £80,000 a week. He also down there, Nick is saying, just subscribe. Good luck with the channel, Stefan. United for life. Thank you very much, Nick. Really do appreciate all the support from you guys. Managed to hit 1,000 subscribers yesterday. Absolutely incredible support. So I really appreciate absolutely everyone here. I mean, literally, like, we got like 60 subs on one stream. Like, that was just unheard of. So thank you very much for all that. So appreciated. There is, by the way, a Discord for anybody interested. We have a United Philosophy Discord. Link is in the bio. We chat on there. We get the transfer stuff in there. We have general talk. We will do match day build up as well on there. And it's a good place to hang out and to sit and chill and talk as well, because obviously I mean, you're kind of limited when you're on lives and stuff as well. So there will be plenty of stuff going on there. Would like to do some phone-in calls as well in Discord. Maybe that could be something fun. And Ashid is saying, well done, man. Congratulations. Thank you very much, Ashid. Really appreciate it, man. And thank you for all the support as well. Couldn't do it without you guys. Make no mistake about it as well for that. So another update coming in from James Ducker. I'm guessing he's done some sort of an article or something on United transfer policy, because there's about 20 different quotes coming out from Ducker at the moment. So we're talking Rasmus Hojlund saying Manchester United are definitely interested in Hojlund, but he has been slapped with an £80 million clause as well. Let me see. Lucky Singh is down there saying Hojlund close, we sell Martial and then have around 18 million. I will check out as well. I think we could see something on Hojlund this weekend. I'm hoping that we're not going to bid 80 million for the guy, but I do think he's a very good player. Of course, Ducker is backing up the reports from Fabrizio Romano saying that Rashford is close to a new deal as well. So very positive from that. A lot of updates coming in from James Ducker. Does anybody want a takeover update? Because we do have one. It does look to be the sort of stuff that we've seen all week, but if you guys want it, I'll get it into the chat here as well. Let me see. So that's coming from so Jim Stucker says there's confidence on both sides that a deal will be wrapped up soon. So this is for Rashford, of course. In terms of the takeover, if you guys want it, I will get it down there. It's kind of what we have been seeing for the last couple of weeks. Obviously, things went crazy last week, and then they kind of stopped. They kind of just came to an abrupt halt. But in terms of what we actually have for an update, we have news from The Guardian. If you guys want it, I'll get it down here below. Let me just fire it up and get it into the chat for you guys. So, here we are. So, the sense is that both privately and publicly, there is an acceptance on both sides that Sheikh Jassim's bid for and the 92 Foundation are ahead Jim Radcliffe and Ineos. So I think this is something we knew. It's nice to see some confirmation of it. We've had very little in terms of actual progress and stuff on this takeover. It's very frustrating times. I mean, I wish that I had loads of breaking news to get you guys. So I genuinely think that YouTube and everything is going to crash the minute any sort of takeover is done, because everybody will be on at once, all about it, and everybody will literally be jumping for joy when this stuff is finally done, because I'm sure you guys are tired. I mean, we've been doing this from October. I actually went back, I checked out, it was literally the first stream I ever did. It was back in October, and it was the one day Ronaldo left the club and the Glazers put the club up for sale, and that was like 31st of October, so around Halloween. We're still going on here. We're getting very close to the 31st. Actually, there isn't even the 31st of June, apologies. But yes, we're getting very close to July, and the takeover is still going. We will not have any sort of new ownership by the time the season starts. That's a big disappointment for me. I know that it's too late to impact the transfer window, but the earlier you get it done, the earlier things can be done. And I would like to see us go out in January. I think January is a really good opportunity for United. We could be in a position where if Qatar take over, or if Radcliffe takes over, and by January, by the end of Christmas, we are still kind of in a Premier League title race. If we're 5 or 6 points off the top, maybe we're sitting second, third, or fourth, something like that, we could go out and back the manager then, go out and spend big money in January and try to catch up. I think we could absolutely do that. That's something I would like to see. Ronnie is down there. The Glazers want to stay in English football. Why not sell Man United and buy Liverpool? That would be brilliant news for all Man United supporters. Yeah, I would love the Glazers to go and buy Liverpool, of course. And I'm sure their American buddies, FSG, would do them a nice little deal as well. And they can go and buy Liverpool. And then Liverpool fans will know what we mean when we're always complaining about the Glazers. Hey, also we got down here as well. Lucky is saying that's encouragement. Hopefully it's Sheikh Jassim in Qatar, period. Thank you very much for that one as well. Ashade is saying since last November. Yep, absolutely, man. It has been a long time in the making. It's genuinely been, what, like 7 months at this year's 8 months? I mean, it's going to go into 9 months, 10 months territory, and probably by the time the takeover is finally complete, it might be a year-long process. Hey, also we got as well Ashade done that. United Till I Die says, I pray each day this takeover occurs. I mean, man, we must be doing a lot of praying, because it's been going on for a long time. Unfortunately, it has been going on for a very long time, and I wish it would just end at this point. Rajat is down there saying, hello, Steph. How are you, man? Thank you very much, man. I'm doing good. How are you? That's another question. Are you guys doing well tonight on this fine Monday, wherever you guys are? Of course. Who else is down there? Jinwa is in there. Yeah, but even if Qatar comes in, we cannot go in because we've got to get it fixed. Yeah, absolutely. We cannot spend money. So Sheikh Jassim could turn up tomorrow and he wouldn't be able to change anything in this transfer window in terms of players coming in. I mean, if he did come in, maybe he could invest money in the stadium or something, but we can't actually invest in the squad. That is something we cannot do at this moment in time. We are working on a Glazer budget, and I'm hoping that it's not as small as what we are making it out to be as well. Rajat says, doing good. Thank you very much, man. Good to see you as well. Good. Glad that you're doing good as well as that. Lucky is saying Middle East Qatari are pushing. I'm sure they are, but I mean, those guys have to be tired. Sheikh Jassim must be thinking, what do I have to do to get this deal done? I mean, he's probably thinking, now this came out about a couple of weeks ago. Sheikh Jassim was really concerned about this transfer window. He saw it as a very good opportunity for Man United to go and catch up with the likes of Man City, and it would be very important that we spend a lot of money in this window. We're not going to do that, unfortunately. I think we will get, I'm going to say we're going to get 4 players. 4 players is what I'm going to go for. I'm going to go for Andre Onana. We're going to go Mason Mount. Going to go Hojlund. Probably a free transfer Rabiot. That's what I think it's going to be for me. Luman down there saying, hello, my bro. Hello to you as well, man. Good to see you on the channel. Thank you very much for joining in with us. United Till I Die. Want to take over occurs. I'm getting a United shirt with by Glazers on the back. Absolutely, man. And Jinwa says the Glazers budget is minimum 100, max 200. I think we're talking probably, I think the budget is around about 120 million. That's what I think the budget is. I think we'll have a little bit of leeway to spend extra, so maybe an extra 10 million. And then we maybe have to look at sales. I think the club are looking to sell big. I think we want to sell the likes of Maguire, McTominay, Dean Henderson, Martial, Van de Beek, probably Alex Telles, Bailly, players like that, Brandon Williams, make some money. That's what I think they want to do. Um, that's what I do think they want to do. I think they want to make some money by selling players. Lucky Singh saying 120 million, and Ashid is saying Sheikh Jassim almost walked out at one point. And I think if we're talking technicalities, he technically has walked out because he said if his bid wasn't accepted, that he would no longer negotiate. So I think maybe they're at that point now. And according to pretty much all of the press, the big thing was that the Glazers were playing. The Glazers were playing both sides, so they would turn round to Sheikh Jassim and they would say, "Radcliffe's winning. You need to bid more money." And then when Sheikh Jassim put his better bid in, they would call up Jim Radcliffe and say, "Oh, Qatar have put a better bid in. You better come back with something else, otherwise we'll sell to them." So they've kind of played both sides off each other. And it was when Qatar threatened to walk away, things definitely hit the fan because the game was over at that point. There was no more back and forths and ups and downs with the deals, so that is something as well. Rajat wants to get a Bayern shirt. So there are some very nice Bayern Munich shirts as well, always. Some nice Real Madrid ones as well. I do actually think I'll probably, I don't know, my birthday is coming up pretty soon. I might ask for one of those random kits, see what we get out of it. I've got some interesting ones. Have a nice AC Milan top, have Benfica top. So let's see what we got out of that one for sure, man. Who else have we got down there? Maguire is playing right now at Old Trafford, says Jinwei. Rajad is saying needs centre backs like Diazy or someone young like Tabito. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think that would be a really good signing. I think Diazy is good. We're talking, what, 25-year-old playing for Monaco. I think he could be a good low value money signing. I think Tabito is maybe the better player, but I think either one of those guys improve us. The ideal would have been Kim Min Jae. We will not get that, unfortunately. It will not happen. It's disappointing, but it is what it is. Who else have we got as well? Lucky Singh says he nearly walked out fully with Party. Absolutely. Negotiation period. Rajat says get Radcliffe out. Absolutely. I think he will. I think Radcliffe eventually will reach a stage where he will say, "This is probably going to be too much money. It's going to be too complicated." And I do think, I personally think that we will be bought over by Qatar. That is my prediction. I think it is coming. I think looking at the deals they're trying to do, you have Qatar offering money up front, completely cash, and then you have Radcliffe needing to get bonds, needing to get loans, either from taking it out of his company Ineos or from the banks. He has partnered up with the likes of Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan Chase, big investment banks in America. So it will be difficult for him to work like that. Who else have we got as well down there? Sniper Patch as well, saying why United so incompetent in the transfer window, paying big bucks for average players, and then we sell. We get screwed year after year. The Glazers and James Slim. You're hooked. Love the show. Thank you very much for that one, man. Yes, I think it comes down to ownership. It comes down to how we are run as a club, and I think the biggest thing is the Glazers are the guys putting Richard Arnold in there. They're putting Ed Woodward in there. They're putting John Murda in there. Even though they are not directly running the club, they're picking the guys. They're picking yes men who will go, let's not spend too much money because Joel wants to buy a new yacht, or Avram has his eye on a private jet, so he wants some extra dividends this year. That's what we do not need. We do not need yes men. We do not need Glazer stooges at this club. We need ambition. For sure. Who else have we got down there? Luman is saying, can you remove the 3 from the 375 for Rashford's wages? It is a lot of money, but I completely understand as well, because Rashford, you're talking a guy there, 30 goals last season. He will be saying, and I guarantee it, Jadon Sancho didn't play for 3 months last season, has not been the player United thought he was, and you're paying him £350,000 a week. I'm better than Sancho, so you have to pay me more, and that's where we'll be coming from, I think. Who else have we got down in the comments? United tell a die, so if the Qatar deal goes through, who would you like to sign? Since we would be balancing FFP, we can spend a little bit. I don't think we're going to get a deal done by the end of the transfer window. I think we're talking September sort of time, unfortunately. I do think if we're talking in who we can bring in, and we're going to spend big, say in January or next summer, it depends on what we get this year. If we get ourselves a top level striker, I would like a top level goalkeeper. Or if we go for a goalkeeper and a Hojlund or somebody like that, maybe a top level midfielder. I would love United to go out and buy Moses Caicedo. I think that could be brilliant. I do think we need a world class number 9, maybe someone like a Harry Kane next season for on a free transfer. Would still cost a lot of money. We'd have to pay him a big bonus for choosing us. Hey, also we got down in the comments, Rajat is saying United at the kit's very nice with the big logo. Yeah, I like the home kit. The away kit, no, I don't like the Newcastle United stripes. I do not like the one without a badge on it, but I do like the home one. Nick is saying without the sale of those fringe players, our budget will be badly limited. We will lose out on a lot of targets to improve the team. Absolutely, we will. Absolutely, we will miss out on targets, and we are missing out on targets right now. We've missed out on Kim and Jai. We pulled out of Osman. We've pulled out of Harry Kane transfers. That will not happen. Wally is down there saying, any update about the Man United takeover? We do have one update to bring you guys, and I think I've got it into the chat already, but I will put it up again just for anyone who has missed it. So the sense is, this is coming from The Guardian. So both publicly and privately, Sheikh Jassim and his 9-2 foundation has slipped ahead of Radcliffe in the takeover race. So that's our update for today. That's all we really have. Disappointing. I would like more, but we do not have more. Le Mans says as well, doesn't the club's success on the pitch bring more money? Yes, it does. But I think in terms of what you get for finishing Champions League and what you get for winning the Premier League, there is a bit of a difference, yes, but just to win the Premier League, you need to spend a lot of money. So it's probably more cost effective to finish top 4 than it is to go on and try to spend money to win a Premier League. So it is very unfortunate as well. United Teledai says, oh, the away kit's awesome. I mean, fair enough, man. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of the stripes. I like the home kit. I think it looks lovely. I'll probably get that one off like DH kit or something, depending on the takeover. We also got down there as well. Rosat says, do United need Rabiot on a free? He is good and will be backup for Casemiro. Can he do Eriksen's job? Yes, he can. He can play in a box-to-box type role. He's actually kind of played left midfield this season as well, sometimes for Juventus in a 3-4-3, so he definitely can do that job. He can get up and down the pitch. He's a physical player, very good on the ball. I think the biggest thing with Rabiot is his mother. His mother is his agent, and she does seem to be she does seem to be a bit of a pest for clubs. Irfan says Rashford goal. Is that a second goal for Rashford? United Salah thoughts on the third kick without the badge. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I think it looks a little bit like a training kit, but I do like it. I mean, you can't go wrong. A white top just and the red logos and stuff on it. I do like it. Rajat says, what would you wear a Man City kick one day if someone paid 5 to 10 effect situation? Probably not, man, but it would be a lot of money. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. If someone genuinely has like £10,000, I don't know. We'll see on that one. Who else we got? Lucky Singh is saying Everton, Newcastle, Aston Villa will look at McTominay. Yes, I have seen that, and West Ham interested as well. So McTominay could be a player leaving. United Sally Die says Jim pull out you melt, or you're a fellow Chelsea fanboy. I mean, he is a Chelsea season ticket holder, so that is something to consider. Hey, also we got down there as well. We got Wally saying we need a top level striker. Yes, we do. I think Ramos, Hojlund, we're talking good level strikers, probably not at the level we need, but I think budget and needing to invest in different areas, I think we will go a little bit cheaper for a younger striker who will get better. That's what I think we will do. He also got down there, Ronnie, I was on holidays in May and I brought back a Real Mallorca top, very nice. Yeah, I think, is that Real Betis? Is it like a white and green striped one? If so, I think it is quite nice as well. He also down there, Bashar says, I'd love Onana at the club. I would absolutely love Onana. I think he's very, very good goalkeeper. Really good with his feet, good at distributing, very good at coming off his line, very, very composed. I think he would be an upgrade on De Gea, all things considered, for what we want to do. DL says, what do you think of Lavia if we lose Caicedo to Chelsea? I think Mount is not enough. We need backup for Cassie. I would try, is that Hincapi or Kotchup instead of Kim? I think Bella Kotchup is a really good player. I think he's a very, very good player. I think we could go for one of the French guys, Diazy or Tobedo. I think Bella Kotchup would be a nice addition. I definitely do think Romeo Lavia would be a brilliant player. I think you're looking 18 years old, played nearly every match for Southampton last season. Really impressed me. He does have that buyback clause for Man City next season. So if we want him, we have to go for him now. That's the thing. We have to jump at it and get it done early this season. Who else have we got in the comments? Irfan says England 3-0. And Lucky says, Stefan, I wish that we had St. James's Park training facilities. I mean, yeah, our training facilities, Carrington, make no mistake about it, Carrington was brilliant when it was first built, but that was 25 years ago. It's not world class anymore. I mean, Ronaldo left and he came back and he said it was the same pool and the same gym as it was when he was there, that there was even the same holes in the wall and cracks in the bottom of the floor of the pool as when he was last year. So that kind of shows you the level. It has just decreased in value. It has just deteriorated. It's very unfortunate as well. United Talladai says Rabiot definitely improves our mid, so I'm all for it. I think on a free transfer, you're not looking at getting too many better players. Who else is down there? Lucky Singh. As well, I've said that about St. James's Park. United Talladai sucks we didn't give Herrera the money. Could have been decent in this midfield. Yes, he absolutely would be. And Irfan says Onana from Everton. I think Onana from Everton is a good player. I think he would be a very, very nice box-to-box type mid player. I think he could be an interesting guy. I mean, he would come in, probably play alongside Casemiro. We would have a very physical midfield, very box-to-box. And he could do a lot of things that we would like to see from our midfield. Whether we go for him or not, I don't know. I think it will be one of those we would go for if Everton got relegated, but I don't think we have got there just yet as well. Lucky Singh says Prince William could build new facilities for us. I mean, I don't know, man. We will see about that one. Rajat says, wanted to Avram's new guest house in Miami, Florida. I mean, yeah, like we probably bought the Glazer family about 15 houses over the years and 5 private jets and I know how many Ferraris and stuff. I mean, you would think they would go get hair transplants or something like, but I can't wait for those guys to go. You guys can't wait for them to go. I'm hoping that this will be a big week for that. But with that in mind, guys, I'm going to hop off the stream here now. So if you guys do want to support the channel, please consider hitting that sub button. Really do appreciate all the support for you guys. Hitting 1,000 yesterday, absolutely incredible. And yes, guys, I will see you all tomorrow. So thank you very much for joining in with us tonight.